The city was quiet but not peaceful. Broken buildings leaned against each other like tired old soldiers. Smoke rose from chimneys mixing with the fog that covered the streets. Most humans hurried through the streets, pulling their coats tight, hurrying home before the cold could bite too deeply. Elias had no home to hurry to. He walked slowly, wrapped in rags that did little to stop the wind. Elias was small, wiry, and his face was lined with years of struggle. He had learned to survive alone, but tonight the cold felt sharper than usual. The wind cut through his thin jacket, and his feet, wrapped in torn shoes, left small prints on the frozen ground. Every step felt heavy, and every breath came out in little clouds that vanished into the night. As he turned a corner, he heard a soft sound, a whimper, almost like a small child crying. Elias paused. He wasn't the kind to interfere with other people's business, but this sound was different. It didn't belong to a human child. There was something strange about it, something fragile and unfamiliar. Elias followed the sound to a narrow alley. Shadows danced under the dim glow of a broken street lamp. Huddled in a corner, shivering violently, was a small figure. Its skin glowed faintly, almost like moonlight on water, and its eyes were wide, shimmering in the darkness. It looked human, but not quite. Its hands were too long, its ears pointed slightly, and strange markings ran across its face. The child looked up, and Elias felt a pang of worry. "Hey, are you okay?" he asked softly. The alien child only shivered harder. Elias noticed its lips were blue from cold. Without thinking, he knelt beside the child and removed his only blanket. It was old, patched in several places, but it was warm. He wrapped it around the child carefully. The small body relaxed immediately. The glow on its skin grew slightly warmer, pulsing softly like a heartbeat. Elias rubbed his hands together and tried to ignore the chill that now seemed deeper without his blanket. You don't have anywhere to go, do you?" Elias asked gently. The child only nodded faintly, too cold to speak. Elias understood. He had known hunger, pain, and loneliness. He also knew fear, and this child looked scared. "Don't worry," Elias whispered. "You can stay here with me tonight." Hours passed slowly. Elias sat beside the child, keeping it close, sharing what little warmth he could. He scavenged a few scraps of food from a nearby dumpster, a half-eaten bread roll and some dried fruit, and offered them to the child. The alien stared at it suspiciously but accepted the food eventually. Elias told stories in his soft, low voice, though he wasn't sure if the child understood. He spoke of the city, of the stars above, and of humans he had known. Sometimes the child's lips moved, making strange sounds. Elias smiled. "Don't worry, I don't understand you either," he said. The child's glowing eyes blinked slowly, almost like it was trying to communicate something beyond words. The night grew colder. Snow began to fall lightly, dusting the streets in white. Elias wrapped the child tighter and pulled the blanket closer around himself. He shivered, but he did not complain. The child was more important. Hours turned into deep night. Elias's eyelids grew heavy. He looked at the small alien, breathing slowly now, safe and warm. He allowed himself a small moment of rest, closing his eyes beside the child. Then something strange happened. A soft golden light began to glow from the blanket. Elias opened his eyes and saw the child's body surrounded by a faint aura. It was warm, comforting, and it seemed to chase away the cold of the alley. Elias's heart skipped a beat. What is this?" he whispered. The child looked at him, eyes wide and unafraid. It reached a tiny hand toward him, and he felt a strange, gentle warmth spread into his fingers. He realized that the child was returning the warmth somehow through the blanket. Elias smiled despite himself. "I guess. You're not just any child," he said softly. He looked at the glowing markings and wondered which planet this child had come from, and why it was here alone. But those questions could wait. For now, it was enough to keep the child safe. Morning came slowly, the light of dawn filtering through the foggy streets. Elias woke to see the child asleep, still wrapped in the blanket. It looked peaceful, no longer shivering, its glow soft and steady. Elias felt a strange mix of relief and curiosity. He didn't know what this child was or what would happen next. But he knew one thing. He had done the right thing. As he prepared to leave the alley to find some food for himself, Elias noticed a small device beside the child. It looked like a crystal, humming faintly. Curious, he picked it up. The moment he touched it, a tiny image projected from it, a map of stars pointing to a distant planet. Elias's heart pounded. This child wasn't just lost, it had a mission, a purpose, and somehow Elias had become a part of it. He looked down at the child sleeping quietly under the blanket. "I don't know what your world is like," Elias whispered, "but if anyone ever comes looking for you, I'll help. I promise." The child's hand twitched, almost like a small thank you. Elias felt warmth spread through him, not just from the child, but from the sense of connection that was stronger than anything he had felt in years. He gathered his courage, stood up and left the alley, glancing back only once. The city was waking slowly, but Elias's heart felt lighter than it had in years. Somewhere out there, beyond the stars, someone would know about the kindness of a human who had nothing, and yet gave everything. As he walked through the streets, he wondered what the next day would bring. Little did he know, the act of giving his only blanket to a small, shivering alien child would change everything. It would bring strangers in numbers he could never imagine. But for now, all that mattered was the child was safe. And in a world where humanity often seemed small, Elias had proven that even the smallest kindness could shine brighter than the coldest night. Elias woke to an unusual sound. At first he thought it was the city stirring, footsteps, voices, the clatter of carts. But soon he realized it was different. The sound was heavy, synchronized, and too precise to be ordinary humans. A low hum vibrated in the air like distant engines, growing louder with each passing second. Elias's heart skipped. He grabbed the blanket, the same one he had given to the alien child, and looked toward the sky. It was still early, but the dawn light could not hide the figures descending from the horizon. Hundreds of beings, tall and armored, marched through the streets. Their armor gleamed, unlike anything Elias had seen, and strange symbols glowed softly on their chests. They moved with purpose, disciplined and silent, except for the hum of their gear. Elias froze. He had expected danger, but not like this. The soldiers stopped in front of the alley where he had stayed the night. The leading figure, taller than the rest, stepped forward. Its armor reflected the weak morning sun, and its eyes glowed faintly beneath its helmet. Elias felt a strange energy in the air, a mix of authority, power, and respect. "You," the figure said in a calm but commanding voice. Elias flinched. "Human, you saved our child." Elias blinked. "Your child?" he stammered. His mind raced. Was this some kind of alien army? Had he done something wrong? The soldier nodded. "Yes, the one you protected last night. You gave what you had, knowing nothing of us, yet you chose to help. That act marks you as our friend." Elias struggled to understand. He had only wrapped the child in his blanket, offered a little food. It had seemed like the natural thing to do. I didn't know who it was. He stopped, unsure how to explain. "You acted with a heart free of fear and selfishness," the soldier said. "Such courage is rare, even among humans." Elias's eyes widened. Courage?" The soldier stepped closer and gestured toward the alley. There the alien child stood, now fully awake and looking around. Its glow was steady and bright, like a small star. The child's eyes met Elias's, and for a moment no words were needed. Elias felt the gratitude, pure and silent, radiating from the child. The leader continued. "Our child is part of the royal line of our planet. It was sent here to observe humans, but it was in danger, and your kindness saved it." Elias felt his knees weaken. He had saved the child without thinking of reward or recognition. And now he was being honored by an entire army? He swallowed hard. I didn't do anything special," he whispered. The alien soldier smiled, or at least Elias thought it was a smile. "To us, your choice is rare and honorable. You have shown that humans are capable of selfless bravery. It is an example we will remember." Other soldiers stepped forward, standing tall in formation. They bowed slightly in unison, a gesture Elias did not understand but felt deeply. The child moved closer to him, tiny hands brushing his arm. Elias felt warmth spread through him again, stronger than the night before. "You will come with us," the leader said. "There is much to show you, and your help will be valuable. We will provide for you, teach you, and honor you." Elias blinked. "Come with you? But yet I have no home. I don't even have anything." "Your actions have earned you more than any material possession," the leader replied. "A place among us is far more than gold or comfort." Elias took a deep breath. His mind raced with questions. Could he trust them? What about his city, his life here? And yet, looking at the child, the soldiers, and the strange technology surrounding him, He felt hope. A hope he had not felt in years. "Okay," he said finally, voice trembling but firm. "I'll go with you." Immediately, the soldiers moved with precision. They surrounded Elias, forming a protective circle. One handed him a small device similar to the one he had seen beside the child. "This will help you understand us and our language," the soldier explained. "Do not be afraid. We are here as friends." The device glowed softly as Elias held it. Suddenly, he could hear the soldiers speaking in clear, understandable words. He marveled at the technology and the kindness it represented. The child tugged at his sleeve. Elias bent down. "Yes, little one?" The child pointed toward the sky, then to the city. Its eyes glowed brighter, almost impatient. Elias realized it wanted him to see that his small act had consequences, far beyond what he imagined. Humans might live in the city, but out there in the stars, other beings watched, observed, and now recognized the best of humanity. The soldiers guided Elias to a large transport ship waiting on the outskirts of the city. Its surface shimmered with a strange energy, reflecting the early sunlight in colors he could not name. It hovered silently, powerful and quiet, yet reassuring. Inside the ship, Elias saw the scale of their world. Screens and consoles displayed distant planets, star systems, and images of places he had never dreamed existed. The alien child ran ahead exploring, while the soldiers moved with precision to prepare for departure. "You will see wonders," the leader said, "and you will learn why your choices matter. The universe is not only about power, it is about courage, compassion, and honor. You have shown all three in a single act." Elias walked slowly through the corridors of the ship, absorbing everything. For years he had been ignored, unseen, and unappreciated. But now his small, simple act, giving a blanket to a cold, shivering child, had earned him respect, trust, and a place in a society far beyond Earth. The child ran back to him, holding out its small hand. Elias took it, feeling the warmth once again. "I don't know what comes next," he said softly, "but I'm ready." The ship lifted off silently, rising above the city. Elias watched the streets shrink beneath him, the alley where he had slept, the broken buildings, the empty streets. For the first time in years, he felt a sense of belonging. He had nothing yesterday, yet today he had everything. Outside, stars stretched endlessly, vast and bright. The child pointed to a distant cluster of lights, and Elias understood. Their journey was only beginning. A human who had given everything he had for someone else, even a stranger, was about to become a part of a story larger than Earth itself. And somewhere in that vast universe, those who observed humanity would remember Elias, not for wealth, strength, or skill, but for a simple truth. Even the smallest human act of kindness could shine brighter than the stars. The ship accelerated toward the unknown, carrying Elias, the alien child, and the promise of a future where humans could rise not through force, but through compassion, courage, and honor. For Elias, the world he had known, the cold, empty streets, the nights of hunger and loneliness, was gone. In its place, there was warmth, purpose, and a reminder that one small act could change not only a life but the fate of worlds. And as the stars stretched infinitely before him, Elias smiled. The blanket was still wrapped around the child, a simple gift that had bridged two species, proving that humanity's greatest strength lay not in power, but in the heart.